Associate yourself with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation, for it is better to be alone than in bad company. Be not glad at the misfortune of another, though he may be your enemy. It is better to offer no excuse than a bad one. If freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led, like sheep to the slaughter. Be courteous to all, but intimate with few, and let those few be well tried before you give them your confidence. True friendship is a plant of slow growth, and must undergo and withstand the shocks of adversity before it is entitled to appellation. Human happiness and moral duty are inseparably connected. 99% of failures come from people who make excuses. I hope I shall possess firmness and virtue enough to maintain what I consider the most enviable of all titles, the character of an honest man. There is nothing which can better deserve our patronage than the promotion of science and literature. Knowledge is in every country the surest basis of public happiness. Guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire called conscience. Perseverance and spirit have done wonders in all ages. Let us therefore animate and encourage each other, and show the whole world that a freeman, contending for liberty on his own ground, is superior to any slavish mercenary on earth. Few men have virtue to withstand the highest bidder. A sensible woman can never be happy with a fool. Experience teaches us that it is much easier to prevent an enemy from posting themselves than it is to dislodge them after they have got possession. Happiness depends more upon the internal frame of a person's own mind, than on the externals in the world. The harder the conflict, the greater the triumph. Worry is the interest paid by those who borrow trouble. The turning points of lives are not the great moments. The real crises are often concealed in occurrences so trivial in appearance that they pass unobserved. I conceive a knowledge of books is the basis upon which other knowledge is to be built. Be courteous to all, but intimate with few, and let those be well tried before you give them your confidence. We must consult our means rather than our wishes. Real men despise battle, but will never run from it. Discipline is the soul of an army. It makes small numbers formidable, procures success to the weak, and esteem to all. To persevere in one's duty, and be silent is the best answer to calumny. We should not look back unless it is to derive useful lessons from past errors, and for the purpose of profiting by dearly bought experience. There is nothing so likely to produce peace as to be well prepared to meet the enemy. Let your heart feel for the afflictions and distress of everyone. I hold the maxim no less applicable to public than to private affairs, that honesty is always the best policy. If to please the people, we offer what we ourselves disapprove, how can we afterwards defend our work? Let us raise a standard to which the wise and honest can repair. The rest is in the hands of God. No punishment, in my opinion, is too great, for the man who can build his greatness upon his country's ruin. Be not glad at the misfortune of another, though he may be your enemy. Anything will give up its secrets if you love it enough. I have found that when I silently commune with people they give up their secrets also, if you love them enough. Strive not with your superiors in argument, but always submit your judgment to others with modesty. Death, the abyss from where no traveler is permitted to return. A bad war is fought with a good mind. A slender acquaintance with the world must convince every man that actions, not words, individuals entering into society, must give up a share of liberty to preserve the rest. The basis of our political systems is the right of the people to make and to alter their constitutions of government. Arbitrary power is most easily established on the ruins of liberty abused to licentiousness. Wherein you reprove another be unblameable yourself, for example, is more prevalent than precepts. Decision-making, like coffee, needs a cooling process. I'll die on my feet before I'll live on my knees. It is far better to be alone, than to be in bad company. Liberty, when it begins to take root, is a plant of rapid growth. Be courteous to all, but intimate with few, and let those few be well tried before you give them your confidence. Arbitrary power is most easily established on the ruins of liberty abused to licentiousness. Every day the increasing weight of years admonishes me more and more, that the shade of retirement is as necessary to me as it will be welcome. Let your conversation be without malice or envy, for it is a sign of a tractable and commendable nature, and in all cases of passion admit reason to govern. A man ought not to value himself of his achievements or rare qualities of wit, much less of his riches, virtue, or kindred. Interwoven as is the love of liberty with every ligament of your hearts, no recommendation of mine is necessary to fortify or confirm the attachment. The great mass of our citizens require only to understand matters rightly, to form right decisions. If the cause is advanced, indifferent is it to me where or in what quarter it happens. The gradual extension of our settlements will as certainly cause the savage, as the wolf, to retire, both being beasts of prey, though they differ in shape. We should not look back unless it is to derive useful lessons from past errors, and for the purpose of profiting by dearly bought experience. My mother was the most beautiful woman I ever saw. I had rather be on my farm than be emperor of the world. How far you go in life depends on your being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant of the weak and the strong. Because someday in life you will have been all of these. Religious controversies are always productive of more acrimony and irreconcilable hatreds than those which spring from any other cause. Experience teaches us that it is much easier to prevent an enemy from posting themselves than it is to dislodge them after they have got possession. To be prepared for war is one of the most effective means of preserving peace. Speak not evil of the absent, for it is unjust. Reason and experience both forbid us to expect that national morality can prevail in exclusion of religious principles. Do not suffer your good nature, to say yes when you ought to say no. Remember that it is a public not a private cause that is to be injured or benefited by your choice. Experience has taught us, that men will not adopt and carry into execution measures best calculated for their own good, without the intervention of a coercive power. Those who have committed no faults want no pardon. We are only defending what we deem our indisputable rights. Make sure you are doing what God wants you to do, then do it with all your strength. Of all the animosities which have existed among mankind, those which are caused by a difference of sentiments in religion appear to be the most inveterate and distressing, and ought most to be deprecated. Much was to be done by prudence, much by conciliation, much by firmness. It's better to live alone than to live in a bad company. The basis of our political system is the right of the people to make and to alter their constitutions of government.